Hey there, story lovers. Welcome to Story Driven English, your go-to spot for tales that entertain, spark your imagination, and maybe even sneak in a little English practice along the way. I'm your name, Nubian Month M, and today, we're diving into a wild ride, Trump's golden ticket to America saga of big money, bigger dreams, and a whole lot of what-ifs, whether you're here for the drama, the laughs, or just to chill. Buckle up, this one's got it all. New around here? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more stories like this. Ready? Let's jump in. Chapter 1. The Golden Ticket to America. Trump's immigration adventurance upon a time. In the bustling world of American politics, Donald Trump never one to shy away from a grand idea, stepped into the Oval Office in February 2025 with a shiny new plan, the Gold Card immigration policy. Picture this, a golden ticket, not unlike something Willy Wonka might hand out, but instead of a chocolate factory tour, it promises a green card, a path to U.S. citizenship, and a chance to live the American dream, all for the low, low price of $5 million. Yes, you heard that right. $5 million. No coupons accepted. The idea was simple, or so Trump claimed. He wanted to replace the dusty old EB-5 visa program, a system where foreign investors could plunk down $800,000 to $1.05 million and create 10 jobs to earn their residency with something flashier, pricier, and, in his words, world class. The EB-5, he said, was a mess, full of nonsense, make-believe, and fraud, so why not up the ante? Enter the Gold Card, a VIP pass for the ultra-wealthy. No job creation strings attached, just a cool $5 million straight to Uncle Sam's piggy bank. Trump even mused about selling 1 million of these bad boys, raking in $5 trillion to tackle the national debt. Maybe it'll be fantastic, he grinned, probably imagining a golden statue of himself funded by the proceeds. Now, let's rewind a bit. The EB-5 program, born in 1990, was like the budget-friendly cousin of this new scheme. It had its fans think real estate developers who loved the cheap capital it brought in for projects like New York's Hudson Yards. But it also had its haters, who pointed to scandals like that Vermont ski resort fiasco, where millions vanished into thin air. Trump's team, led by Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, saw the Gold Card as a sleek upgrade, more money, less hassle, and a promise to vet applicants to ensure they're wonderful, world-class global citizens. Russian oligarchs? Sure, why not? Trump quipped. Some of them are very nice people. But here's where the story gets juicy. Not everyone was popping champagne over this golden idea. Immigration lawyers scratched their heads, muttering about legal hurdles. Congress made EB-5, not the president, they pointed out, sipping their coffee a little too nervously. Sure, Trump insisted he didn't need congressional approval. It's all worked out legally, he said, but experts weren't so sure. Past attempts to tweak immigration via executive order had hit judicial speed bumps faster than you can say. Lawsuit. And then there were the real estate folks, clutching their EB-5 funded blueprints, worried their gravy train was about to derail. On the flip side, some cheered. Finally, a way to keep the rich and talented here, said fans, picturing tech giants shelling out $5 million to snag a genius coder from abroad. Others saw dollar signs literally. If Trump sold even a fraction of his dreamed-up million cards, the cash could make a dent in that pesky $35 trillion national debt. Plus, there was a sneaky tax perk. Gold card holders might dodge U.S. taxes on their worldwide income, a loophole not even American citizens could wiggle through. It's like a VIP tax holiday. One attorney chuckled, but don't tell the IRS I said that, as of March 27th, 2025. Yep, today, the gold card hasn't hit the shelves yet. No official forms. No Buy Now button on the US's website. Rumors swirl, though. Some ex-posts claim 1,000 cards sold in a day, raising $5 billion, with 250,000 hopefuls on a wait list. Sounds impressive, but without hard proof, it's about as solid as a house of cards in a windstorm. The administration's still tinkering. Maybe tying it to EB5 after all, or maybe just dreaming big. Trump, ever the optimist, predicted they're going to sell like crazy. Meanwhile, the rest of us are left wondering, will this golden dream soar, or will it crash like a reality TV plot twist? So here we are, watching the saga unfold. Will the gold card be a golden goose or a gilded flop? One thing's for sure. In Trump's America, even immigration comes with a hefty price tag and a side of drama. Stay tuned. Folks, this story's got more chapters to come. Now, let's set the stage a little, because every good story needs a backdrop, and this one's got more layers than a New York cheesecake. America's immigration system is a bit like a giant jigsaw puzzle, with pieces scattered everywhere. Work visas for the ambitious, family reunion visas for the sentimental, and investment visas for those who'd rather buy their way in than wait in line. It's all run by a cast of federal characters, think the Department of Homeland Security and the State Department, following rules set by Congress, who, let's be honest, don't always agree on where the pieces go. Enter the EB5 visa, the slightly awkward middle child of this immigration family. Born in 1990, it was dreamed up as a win-win. Rich foreigners could snag a green card by investing in U.S. businesses, and Uncle Sam would get jobs for his citizens in return. The deal? Cough up $800,000 if you're investing in a targeted employment area. Think rural spots or places where jobs are scarcer than a polite X comment, or $1.05 million elsewhere, and create 10 full-time jobs. Easy peasy, right? Well, not quite. Congress tweaked those numbers in 2022, but with a cap of under 10,000 visas a year, spouses and kids included, the line to get in stretches longer than a CVS receipt, especially if you're from, say, China or India, where the backlog could outlast a Netflix binge. The EB5 had its glory days, sure. Developers loved it. Imagine shiny skyscrapers and luxe condos sprouting up thanks to foreign cash. But it also had its flops. Remember that Vermont ski resort debacle. Millions poured in, jobs didn't materialize, and poof, money gone like snow in July. Critics called it a playground for fraud, inefficiency, and shady investors. It's full of nonsense, make-believe, and fraud. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick huffed, probably while sipping a very expensive coffee. And that, my friends, is where our hero, or at least our headline maker, Donald Trump, saw his opening. Fast forward to February 2025. Picture Trump striding into a cabinet meeting, golden hair gleaming under the lights, ready to unveil his latest brainchild, the gold card. Forget EB5, he declared, waving a hand like he was dismissing a bad Yelp review. We're going big, 5 million big. The room buzzed. This wasn't just a tweak to the old program. It was a full-on glow-up. No more fussing with job creation or rural projects, just pay the fee. Pass a background check, fingers crossed, no oligarch skeletons in the closet, and bam, you're on the fast track to a green card, and maybe even citizenship. It's simple, it's beautiful. Trump beamed, likely imagining a Trump gold card logo in shiny foil. The announcement came with all the urgency of a late-night infomercial. Act now, folks, we're rolling this out quick. He promised. Lutnick nodded along, muttering something about how EB5 was a broken toy and the gold card was the shiny new gadget America deserved. The pitch? Attract the world's wealthiest, most world-class folks. Think tech tycoons, oil barons, maybe even a celebrity or two, and let their millions fix the economy. No assembly required. Why settle for $1 million investment when you can have 5? Trump mused, probably picturing a golden ATM spitting out cash for the national debt. But as the cabinet meeting wrapped up, whispers started. Could he really pull this off without Congress? Would the courts let it slide? And what about those EB-5 fans still clinging to their $800,000 dreams? The gold card wasn't just a policy, it was a plot twist, and the audience, that's us, was hooked. Would it be a blockbuster or a bust? One thing was clear. Trump wasn't here to play small. He was betting on gold, and the stakes were as high as a Manhattan penthouse. Chapter 2. Costs and benefits. So, let's dive into the meat of this golden goose, or golden ticket, if you will. Trump's gold card isn't just a shiny new toy. It's got a price tag that could make even a billionaire blink. $5 million. That's right, compared to the EB-5, his bargain bin $800,000 or $1.05 million. This is the VIP upgrade nobody asked for, but Trump insisted we needed. It's a fantastic deal, he said, probably while mentally designing a gold-plated welcome mat for the new arrivals. But what do you get for that hefty chunk of change? Oh, just a little something Trump calls green card privileges, plus a phrase so mysterious it sounds like the tagline for a luxury car commercial. Here's the pitch: fork over $5 million, and you're handed the keys to permanent residency. You can live, work, and strut around the U.S. like any green card holder. Pick your job, sip your Starbucks, and jet in and out of the country without a fuss. But wait, there's more. Unlike the EB-5's slow dance toward citizenship, think years of paperwork and a maybe at the end. The gold card promises a straight shot to the American dream, stars and stripes passport included. Why waste time? Trump shrugged, as if citizenship were a fast food order. You could just supersize, and then there's the cherry on top, or at least the one Trump's dangling. No taxes on foreign income, he boasted, leaning into the mic like he was letting us in on a secret. Imagine it. You're a jet-setting tycoon, raking in millions from your overseas empire, and Uncle Sam doesn't get a dime of it. It's the kind of perk that'd make even the stingiest tax accountant do a happy dance. But hold the confetti experts like David L'Esperance, a tax guru with a knack for bursting bubbles, piped up. That's a nice fantasy, he said, adjusting his glasses, but the IRS isn't handing out free passes without Congress rewriting the rule book. Turns out, U.S. tax law doesn't play favorites, even for gold card-carrying VIPs, unless, of course, Trump's got a magic wand stashed somewhere. Now, here's where it gets delightfully vague. That, plus, in green card privileges. Plus, is the teaser that keeps us guessing. Is it a complimentary bald eagle as a pet? A lifetime supply of apple pie? A personal thank you note from Trump himself? Nobody knows. It's gonna be tremendous, Trump insisted, waving off questions like they were pesky FLIs. But without details, it's like ordering the mystery box on a game show. You might get a yacht, or you might get a sock with a hole in it. Immigration lawyers scratched their heads, muttering, plus, what exactly? While secretly hoping it's at least a fast pass lane at the DMV for the ultra-rich eyeing this deal, though the vagueness might not matter. $5 million for a no-hassle green card, a citizenship express lane, and maybe a tax break if Trump's bluff works. That's a sales pitch that could tempt anyone with a yacht and a spare private island. It's for the best people. Trump grinned, probably picturing a line of billionaires waving checkbooks at the border. But as the gold card's glitter settles, one question lingers. Will that plus be the golden ticket's secret sauce, or just a shiny distraction? Either way, Trump's betting big, and we're all along for the ride. Chapter 3, Target. Audienceno, let's talk about who's invited to this exclusive $5 million party. Trump's gold card isn't for just anyone. It's aimed squarely at the kind of folks who have private jets parked in their backyards and enough cash to make Scrooge McDuck jealous. We're talking wealthy foreign bigwigs, from Russian oligarchs to globe-trotting entrepreneurs who probably own more yachts than you own socks. The Russians? Some of them are very nice people, Trump said with a wink, clearly picturing a line of fur-hatted tycoons waving gold bars at the border. It's a guest list that screams money talks, and Trump's rolling out the red carpet, or maybe a gold one, just to match his grand plan. Sell 1 million cards or more. Yep, you heard that right, 1 million golden tickets. Like, he's Willy Wonka with a real estate twist. At $5 million a pop, that's $5 trillion, enough to make the national debt blush and maybe even fund a few extra Trump towers. It's gonna be huge, he declared, probably imagining a leaderboard tracking sales like a late-night telethon. And here's the kicker. It's not just for individuals. Companies can snag these cards for their star employees, too. Picture a tech giant buying a gold card for their genius coder from abroad, or a fashion empire securing one for their top designer. Keep the best talent here, Trump nodded, as if he'd just invented the ultimate corporate perk. But hold on, let's pump the brakes for a reality check. 1 million cards? That's a tall order, even for a salesman like Trump. The Cato Institute, a think tank with a knack for number crunching, raised an eyebrow. Even at Eb5's bargain price of $800,000, they struggled to lure a crowd. They pointed out, sipping their sensible tea. The world's ultra-rich, those with the net worth to casually drop $5 million without batting an eye, aren't exactly growing on trees. Sure, there are billionaires out there, but 1 million of them ready to buy into this. It's like expecting every lottery winner to show up at once with cash in hand. Ambitious doesn't even begin to cover it. It's more like pie in the sky with extra whipped cream. Still, Trump's not sweating the details. They'll come running, he grinned, probably picturing a stampede of Rolex-wearing investors. For companies, it's a tempting carrot, dangle a gold card to keep that rock star employee from jumping ship. And for the oligarchs, a chance to swap snowy Moscow for sunny Miami might just be worth the price tag. But as the dream of 1 million cards sparkles in Trump's eyes, the rest of us can't help but wonder, will this be a gold rush or just a glittery mirage? One thing's for sure, the guest list is exclusive. The stakes are sky high, and the popcorn's ready for whatever happens next. Chapter 4. Stated Objectivizo. Why's Trump so gung-ho about this gold card gig? Well, buckle up, because the man's got a laundry list of goals, and they're as bold as his hair is iconic. First up, he wants to reel in piles of foreign cash to give the U.S. economy a big, glittery bear hug. The idea is simple: bring in the world's richest folks. Let them splash their millions on penthouses, private jets, and maybe a few overpriced lattes, and watch the tax dollars roll in. They'll spend like crazy, Trump grinned, probably picturing a billionaire buying a whole block of Fifth Avenue just for fun. But it's not just about shopping sprees. The real jackpot? Cold, hard cash for the government's piggy bank, enough, Trump hopes, to chip away at that monstrous national debt. At $5 million a pop, selling 1 million cards could net $5 trillion, turning the Treasury into a scene from a heist movie. "We'll pay off the debt, folks. It'll be fantastic," he boasted, likely imagining a giant mission accomplished banner over the White House. It's a cash grab with a patriotic twist, and Trump's all in. Then there's the Ebb 5. Elephant in the room. Trump and his crew, especially Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, see that old program as a clunky jalopy overdue for the scrapyard. It's a mess full of fraud and nonsense. Lutnick sniffed, probably while polishing his cufflinks. The gold card's here to kick Ebb 5 to the curb, replacing its job creation hoops and fraud scandals with a sleek, no-fuss alternative. "We're done with the old junk," Trump nodded, ready to trade up for something shinier. Oh, and speaking of jobs, Trump's got a soft spot for successful job creators. Sure, the gold card doesn't make you prove you'll hire anyone, no pesky 10-job minimum like Ebb 5, but the hope is these wealthy newcomers will sprinkle some entrepreneurial magic anyway. They're winners, they'll build things. He said, maybe picturing a Russian tycoon opening a chain of borscht food trucks. It's less a requirement, more a vibe. Trump's betting on their Midas touch and for the rich folks buying in. The gold card's a golden escalator to residency and citizenship. No more slogging through Ebb 5's maze of red tape and years-long waits. Why make it hard? Trump shrugged, as if he'd just solved world peace with a Sharpie. It's fast. It's fancy, and it's built for the elite who'd rather write a check than fill out forms. Here's the twist, though, and like Ebb 5, which was all about funneling cash into businesses and jobs, the gold card's more like a direct deposit to the government's wallet. The Cato Institute types might call it a pivot from grow the economy to fill the coffers. It's less about building factories and more about balancing the books. A new game. Trump winked, and he's playing it with a stack of golden chips. Will it work? Will the economy boom, the debt shrink, and the job creators create? Grab your popcorn. This golden adventure's just heating up. Chapter 5. Proposed mechanism of operational right. Let's peel back the curtain and see how this gold card machine is supposed to hum. The mechanics are as straightforward as a late-night infomercial. Hand over $5 million straight to the U.S. government, no middleman, no monopoly money, and bam, you've got yourself a shiny gold card, complete with permanent residency and a VIP pass to citizenship. It's a far cry from Ebb 5's treasure hunt, where you had to sink cash into a business and pray it sprouted 10 jobs. This is cleaner, simpler, better. Trump beamed, probably imagining a big, sold sign stamped across the White House lawn. Gone are the Ebb 5 headaches. No more scouting for the perfect project. No more counting employees like sheep to hit that magic 10-job mark. The gold card says, why bother? It's the immigration equivalent of skipping the line at Disneyland. Just pay the fee and stroll right in. Ebb 5 was a jungle of rules. Trump scoffed, waving a hand like he was shooing away a bad memory. It's a golden highway, and for companies, they can grab these cards for their foreign MVPs. Think a tech titan securing one for their coding wizard, or a Wall Street firm locking in their star trader. A little gift for the team. Trump winked, as if he'd just invented Employee of the Month bonuses. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick was all over this too. 2 weeks, folks, February 25, 2025, and we're live. He promised, practically setting a timer. Fast forward to late March 2025. Spoiler alert. No gold cards yet. The websites still blank. The forms are MIA, and the only thing moving fast is the rumor mill on X. It's coming. It's coming. Trump insists, but it's starting to feel like waiting for a sequel that's stuck in production limbo. Maybe they're still polishing the gold edges, who knows? Here's where it gets spicy, though. This whole setup's got a pay-to-play vibe that's raising eyebrows. $5 million for a green card and a citizenship speed run. It's less land of opportunity and more VIP lounge for the loaded. Critics are clutching their pearls, whispering about the ethics of selling citizenship like it's a luxury condo. What about grit, talent, or heart? They ask, picturing a system where a fat wallet trumps all. It's not a meritocracy, it's a monocracy, one pundit quipped, probably while drafting a sternly worded op-ed. Trump, unfazed, shrugs it off. The best people have the best money, deal with it. So there's the blueprint, a $5 million ticket, no job strings attached, a corporate perk option, and a launch date that's more wish than reality so far. It's bold, it's brassy, and it's got folks debating whether it's genius or a gilded gimmick. Will the gold card roll out with trumpets blaring or stall out like a car with no gas? Stay tuned, this ride's got more twists than a soap opera, and we're all watching from the front row. Chapter 6, Eligibility Criteria and Conditions now. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Who qualifies for this golden VIP pass? Spoiler alert, it's not rocket science, but it does require a fat wallet. Step 1, and pretty much the only step you need to nail, cough up $5 million. That's the golden key, literally and figuratively. Show me the money, Trump might as well have shouted, channeling his inner Jerry Maguire. No complicated forms, no essay on why you love apple pie, just a cool $5 million. And you're halfway to the American dream. But wait, there's a catch, or at least a vague promise of one. Applicants have to pass a background check to prove they're wonderful, world-class global citizens. Sounds fancy, right? Trump's tossing around superlatives like confetti, but the details? Thin as a paper towel in a rainstorm. What makes someone world-class? A clean rap sheet? A knack for philanthropy? A really good golf swing? We'll figure it out. Trump waved off, probably picturing a checklist with owns a yacht at the top. The rigor of this vetting process is the secret sauce, or secret sauce TBD. That'll keep the program legit. But for now, it's a mystery box we're all itching to peek inside. Here's where it gets interesting. Unlike EB5, there's no homework required. No need to create 10 jobs or funnel cash into a struggling strip mall. The gold card's all about the Benjamins, straight to the government. No detours. EB5 was a job circus. Trump snorted, clearly relieved to ditch the bean counting. This time, it's a one-and-done financial flex pay up, and you're in. It's the immigration equivalent of skipping the side quests and going straight for the prize. And who can play? Everyone. Trump's throwing the doors wide open to all nationalities. Doesn't matter where you're from, we'll take your money, he grinned, addressing worries about sketchy characters from rival nations. Russian oligarchs. Chinese tycoons. Sure, as long as they pass that elusive world-class test. It's a global free-for-all, though you can bet politics might still sneak into the fine print. We'll vet them hard, Trump promised. Though whether that's a TSA pat-down or a full CIA deep dive remains anyone's guess. Here's the rub, though. Beyond the $5 million buy-in, the rulebook's pretty sparse. No job quotas, no investment hoops, just cash and a vague, be awesome vibe. That's got some folks nervous. What's stopping a shady billionaire with a closet full of skeletons? Critics mutter, picturing a Bond villain slipping through the cracks. Without a clear, transparent vetting playbook, the gold card could be a golden goose for the government or a golden loophole for the less than wonderful. It'll be fine, trust me, Trump shrugs, But the jury's still out. Will this be a parade of the world's best or a wild card free for all? Popcorn's ready. This chapter's got suspense written all over it. Chapter 7, Arguments in Support of the Gold Card. So, why is Team Trump so jazzed about this gold card idea? Well, they've got a whole cheerleading squad of reasons, and they're waving their pom-poms like it's game day. First up, the cash. Oh, the glorious glittering cash. Selling a ton of these $5 million tickets could stuff the government's wallet so full it'd need a new zipper. We're talking billions, maybe trillions. Trump crowed, probably picturing a Scrooge McDuck-style vault swim. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick even claimed 1,000 cards sold in a single day, 5 billion. Just like that. Boom, done. He grinned, though nobody's flashed a receipt yet. So we're filing that under to be confirmed. He also tossed out a teaser. 200,000 cards could rake in a cool $1 trillion. Ambitious? Sure. Confusing, since Trump's eyeing $1 million. You bet. Either way, it's a debt-busting dream, assuming enough millionaires are lining up. Next perk. It's simple. Compared to Eb5's labyrinth of rules, invest here. Hire there. Count jobs like you're auditioning for Sesame Street. The gold card's a breeze. Pay $5 million. Skip the bureaucracy. And voila, you're a resident. Eb5 was a paperwork nightmare. Trump groaned, likely still haunted by tales of stalled projects and lost millions. This? It's the express lane, no detours, no fuss. Just a golden handshake and a welcome aboard. Then there's the VIP appeal. The gold card's a magnet for the mega-rich folks who can drop millions on a whim and still have change for a private island. They'll spend, they'll tax, they'll invest. Trump nodded, imagining tycoons buying up Miami condos and Tesla fleets. The logic? These walking ATMs will juice the economy just by living their lavish lives. It's less about forcing them to build factories and more about hoping they'll sprinkle cash like fairy dust wherever they go. And let's not forget the Eb5 cleanup crew vibe. Trump's crew sees that old program as a leaky boat riddled with fraud, inefficiency, and headaches. A total disaster, Lutnick sniffed, probably while eyeing a shredder for Eb5's rulebook. The gold card? It sidesteps the mess. No job quotas, no shady projects, just pure, unfiltered revenue. We're fixing it, Trump declared, as if he'd just swapped a clunker for a Rolls-Royce. The economic fairy tale doesn't stop there. Fans say this could be a rocket boost for the U.S. rich immigrants flooding in with fat wallets, ready to spark growth. They'll bring capital, big time. Trump beamed, maybe picturing a Wall Street ticker shooting confetti. And here's the cherry on top. No cap. Unlike Eb5's stingy 10,000 visa limit, Trump's dreaming of selling gold cards like hotcakes, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions. Why stop? He shrugged, tossing aside the idea of quotas like last season's tie. But hold the phone, there's a catch. Unleashing a flood of gold cards without limits isn't a solo act. Congress has to sign off. Law says we cap green cards, the legal nerds point out, tapping their rulebooks. Without lawmakers green-lighting this free-for-all, it's a wish list, not a done deal. Still, the hype's real. Big bucks, simple rules, rich newcomers, and an Eb5 exorcism. Will it pan out, or is it a golden pipe dream? The cheer squad's loud, but the scoreboard's still blank. Stay tuned for the next play. Chapter 8, Legal and Constitutional Challenge. Not everyone's popping champagne over this gold card dream. Some folks are waving red flags like they're at a bullfight, and the biggest beef? The law. Turns out, Trump might have hit a wall taller than the one he once wanted on the border. Legal eagles are squawking that he can't just snap his fingers and ditch Eb 5. It's not a reality. TV contestant he can fire. Congress built that baby, they say, pointing to the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, like it's a sacred scroll. Want to scrap it or swap it for something gold-plated? You'll need Capitol Hill's blessing, not just a White House. Memo. Sorry, Don, no solo act here. One lawyer smirked, probably already drafting the lawsuit, and those million card dreams. The INA's got a cap on green cards tighter than a jar lid after a pickle party. Trump can't just crank out gold cards like they're collectible trading cards. Congress sets the limit, and they're not known for speedy teamwork. You want a new visa category with a citizenship fast pass? The experts ask, raising eyebrows. That's a job for lawmakers, not a presidential pen. Executive orders can tweak the edges, sure, but building a whole new highway to residency, that's a legislative construction project, and Congress isn't exactly rushing to hand over the keys. Then there's the big thorny question. Is it even legal to sell citizenship like it's a luxury timeshare? $5 million for a star-spangled passport, really? Critics grumble, clutching their copies of the Constitution. The idea of a pay-to-play green card feels a bit off-brand for a country built on, give me your tired, your poor. It's less land of the free and more land of the fee, one pundit quipped, sipping coffee strong enough to fuel a filibuster. The whole setup's got folks wondering if it fits with America's immigration vibe or if it's a golden loophole too far. Here's the kicker. Without a clear legal green light, this whole plan's skating on thin ice. It's a courtroom showdown waiting to happen, the legal buffs warn, predicting a barrage of challenges faster than you can say. Injunction. Trump's team insists they've got it, all worked out legally, but the skeptics aren't buying it. Show me the fine print, they demand, picturing a judge's gavel slamming down on the gold card's glittery dreams. Will it stand up in court or crumble like a house of cards in a windstorm? The lawyers are sharpening their pencils. The critics are sharpening their tongues. And Trump? He's still grinning like he's got an ace up his sleeve. This golden saga's got drama, and the next act's anyone's guess. Chapter 9. Equity, and equity concerns it. Everyone's cheering. From the sidelines, some folks are clutching their pitchforks over the gold card's fairness factor, and boy, do they have thoughts. Critics are crying foul, saying this $5 million ticket stubs out merit, skills, or family ties in favor of one thing: cold, hard cash. It's a two-tiered system, they huff, picturing a velvet rope at the border, one line for the mega-rich, another for everyone else scrambling with their resumes and family photos. What about the little guy? They ask, worried the gold card's turning immigration into a VIP club where only the deep-pocketed get a wristband. The selling citizenship vibe isn't sitting right either. Pay up, and you're an American really, skeptics groan, shaking their heads like they've just seen a for sale sign on the Statue of Liberty. It's a moral hot potato. Citizenship as a luxury good feels more like an auction than a dream. Highest bidder wins? That's not the America I know, one critic sighed, probably drafting a protest song about it. The idea that a fat checkbook trumps grit or heart has folks feeling queasy, and the ethical debates are heating up faster than a microwave burrito. And then there's the price tag: $5 million's a wall most can't climb. Skilled workers, brilliant coders, or hardworking families. Out of luck unless they've got a spare fortune lying around. We're missing out on talent, Representative Ro Khanna chimed in, waving the flag for a merit-based approach. Some of the best Americans started with nothing. Think Steve Jobs' parents, he argued, pointing out that a gold card would have locked them out. It's a stinging jab. Why bet on billionaires when the next big innovator might be scraping by? Here's the deeper rub. This setup could widen the immigration gap that's already a chasm. Equal opportunity? More like, show me the money, critics grumble, seeing a system where wealth calls the shots. It's a loud message America's open, but only if you've got the golden ticket. What happened to the melting pot? They wonder, fearing the pot's now a penthouse suite with a steep cover charge. Trump's unfazed. The best deserve the best. He shrugs, but the fairness fight's brewing. Will the gold card crown the rich or spark a revolt? The crowd's split, and this golden tale's got tension thicker than in New York traffic. Jam, Chapter 10. Lack of economic growth assurance series another wrinkle in the gold card saga that's got skeptics scratching their heads. The economy. Sure, $5 million sounds like a jackpot, but will it really juice up the U.S. like Trump hopes? Unlike EB-5, which practically had grow the economy tattooed on its forehead, the gold card's not playing that game. EB-5 made you pour cash into businesses and crank out 10 jobs. Think factories humming, coffee shops hiring, and construction crews swinging hammers. The gold card? It's a straight cash drop to the government. No job creation strings attached. Simple's better. Trump grins, but some folks aren't so sure. See, handing Uncle Sam a big check might pad the Treasury's couch cushions, but it's not the same as planting seeds in the economy. EB-5 was like a gardener. Money went into projects, jobs bloomed, and towns buzzed. The gold card? More like a one-time tip to the bouncer, no guarantee it'll keep the party going. It's a quick buck, not a growth plan, the Cato Institute folks mutter, sipping their think tank tea. They reckon EB-5's messy rules at least delivered more bang for the buck actual economic ripples, while the gold card might just sit there, looking pretty, but doing little. Some even whisper it could be a dud compared to its predecessor. Lower growth. You bet, the number crunchers warn, pointing out that $5 million parked in a government account doesn't spark the same magic as $800,000 funneled into a startup or a strip mall. Sure, those rich gold card holders might splurge on yachts or penthouses, but there's no promise they'll kickstart the next big thing. It's a gamble, critics shrug, imagining a tycoon blowing cash on a gold-plated hot tub instead of a job-creating factory. Trump's betting on their spending habits, but it's a roll of the dice with no jackpot guaranteed. Here's the deeper buzzkill. Focusing solely on a fat financial contribution skips the real meat of economic growth jobs. Innovation, that good old American hustle. It's like paying for a gym membership, but not lifting the weights, one analyst quips. EB-5 forced the workout. The gold card just collects the fee. Will the rich folks' shopping sprees make up the difference? Maybe, but there's no scorecard saying they'll match EB-5's muscle. Trump's still waving the golden flag they'll spend. It'll be huge. But the doubters are circling. Is this a cash cow or an economic snooze? The plot thickens, and the ledger's watching. Chapter 11. Potential for abuse and corruption. Oh, here's a plot twist that's got the werewolves pacing. What if the gold card turns into a golden getaway for the shady? Critics are flashing warning lights, pointing to a global scrapbook of Visa for Cash programs gone wild. Fraud, money laundering, you name it, they say, nodding to the IMF's stern memos about these schemes turning into playgrounds for crooks. From Caribbean passport deals to European golden visas, the track record's got more red flags than a bullfight, and the gold card's $5 million lure could be catnip for the less than honest. The big snag. That world-class global citizen vetting process is still a foggy outline. Beyond the $5 million buy-in, The rule book's light on details, leaving folks twitchy about who might slip through the cracks. No strict checks. You're rolling the dice, skeptics warn, picturing a rogue billionaire with a suitcase of dirty cash waltzing in. Without a watertight screening net, the gold card could accidentally green light folks whose millions come from places you wouldn't brag about at dinner. What's stopping a Bond villain? One critic quips, half joking, half serious, imagining a Lair-funded tycoon sipping martinis in Miami. Here's the deeper sting. Other countries' golden visa flops scream for guardrails, think transparent rules, hawk-eyed oversight, the works. You need a fortress, not a welcome mat, the cautious types insist, citing tales of illicit funds sneaking through lax systems. The IMF's even waving a finger, muttering about financial risks and crime spikes tied to these pay-to-play setups. Trump's team swears they'll vet hard, only the best folks. But with the fine print still MIA, it's a trust fall that's got folks edgy. Will the gold card shine as a legit prize, or morph into a gilded loophole for the lawless? The suspense is thicker than a fog bank, and the stakes? Sky high, Chapter 12. Other challenges. The gold card's glitter isn't dazzling everyone. Some folks are throwing shade, and it's not just about legal hurdles. Take the EB5 crowd for starters. These poor souls have already shelled out hundreds of thousands betting on that green card dream, and now they're stuck in limbo, refreshing their inboxes like it's Black Friday. If the gold card bulldozes EB5 off the map, what happens to them? We've got money on the line. They cry, clutching their investment receipts. It's like they bought tickets to a show that might get canceled mid-act awkward, and nobody's offering refunds. Then there's the million card fantasy. Trump's dreaming of selling 1 million gold cards for a cool $5 trillion, like he's running a cosmic lemonade stand. It'll be huge. He beams, but the Cato Institute's raining on his parade. Nice try, but that's pie-in-the-sky stuff. They scoff, crunching numbers that say even a fraction of that's a stretch. The world's not exactly teeming with millionaires ready to drop $5 million on a whim. Most are too busy buying private islands or arguing on X. Optimistic? More like delusional, one analyst chuckles, shaking their head at the math and that tax-free cherry Trump's dangling. No taxes on foreign income, beautiful, he boasts, but the fine print's a buzzkill. Tax experts like David L'Esperance are rolling their eyes. That's a unicorn wish Congress and the IRS won't just nod that through. A special tax break for gold carders would stick out like a sore thumb in the U.S. tax code, where even citizens pay on worldwide earnings. Legal battles incoming, the skeptics predict, picturing a courtroom showdown over a perk that might never see daylight. Trump's selling it hard, but it's a promise hanging by a thread. Oh, and don't forget the political popcorn fest. This golden idea's got bipartisan grumbles. Democrats are fuming about fairness, and even some Republicans are side-eyeing it. Selling citizenship? Not my America, they mutter while Representative Ro Khanna's out there waving the merit flag. Give me skills over stacks of cash any day, he insists. The public's split too. Half see a slick deal, half see a gilded slap to equal opportunity. It's a political hot potato, and the odds of it sailing through Washington? Slimmer than a supermodel's selfie. Trump's grinning through the booze. They'll come around. But this golden goose might just ruffle too many feathers to fly. Chapter 13. Current status of Propos also. Where's this shiny gold card at now? Well, as of late March 2005, yep. Right this minute, it's still more of a golden glimmer than a done deal. Congress hasn't touched it with a 10-foot pole, no official bill, no late-night debates, nada. It's like the gold card still waiting for its invitation to the legislative party, stuck in the mailroom while Trump's pacing the Oval Office. It's coming, folks, any day now. He insists, but the lack of paperwork says otherwise. Back in February, Trump and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick were all fired up, promising a launch faster than you can say, 2 weeks. February 25 plus 14 days, boom, we're live. Lutnick crowed, probably marking his calendar with a gold Sharpie. Spoiler, the deadlines come and gone, and the gold card's still a no-show. A tad optimistic, the pundits chuckle, sipping their coffee as the calendar pages flip. Turns out, turning a big idea into reality takes more than a snap of the fingers even for Trump. Here's a twist, though. Whispers from the administration hint the gold card might not bulldoze. Ebb 5 after all. Picture this two programs side by side, like awkward cousins at a family reunion. Maybe we'll tweak Ebb 5 and keep it around, someone mused, suggesting a Commerce Department remix instead of a full replacement. It's a pivot from the original out with the old, in with the gold pitch, and it's got folks wondering if the plan's softening around the edges. Meanwhile, Lutnick's reportedly cozying up to Senator John Cornyn, a Texas Republican with a knack for wrangling laws. Let's mash up the gold card with some Ebb 5 fixes. They're scheming, a sign that even Team Trump might see Congress as the key to unlocking this golden gate. We're working on it, Lutnick nods, but the details are scarcer than a unicorn sighting. No launch date, no click here to apply button, just a big, fat TBD hovering over the whole thing. The silence is deafening, too. No White House press release. No US's fanfare, nothing official. Since the February hype. Where's the memo? Critics ask, tapping their watches. It's like waiting for a sequel that's stuck in pre-production, leaving everyone guessing if the gold card's a blockbuster or a bust. Trump's still waving the flag. It'll be tremendous. But the vibe's more planning meeting than grand opening. Here's the real tea. This golden dream's still doodling in the sketchbook, facing hurdles taller than a Trump tower. Congress might need to sign off. The fine print's a wall, and the clock's ticking with no finish line in sight. It's a maybe, not a yes, the cautious types murmur, betting on more talk before any walk. Will the gold card shine bright or fade to black? For now, it's a cliffhanger, and we're all hooked, waiting for the next scene. Chapter 14. Potential impact on immigrants and the U.S. immigration system. So, what happens if this gold card dream actually takes flight? Let's peek at the ripple effects. It's like tossing a $5 million pebble into the immigration pond. For the ultra-rich, it's a golden escalator. Pay the fee, skip the line, and bam, permanent residency, and a citizenship fast pass. Finally, a VIP lane for the jet set. They cheer, sipping champagne while plotting their move to Malibu. For billionaires itching for a U.S. address, whether it's for business, beaches, or just bragging rights, it's a no-brainer. $5 million. Pocket change, they'd shrug, probably buying two flex, but for the skilled workers and family hopefuls. Oof, it's a different story. The gold card's laser focus on fat wallets could shove everyone else to the back of the bus. Coders, nurses, and dreamers stuck in visa backlogs might see their wait times stretch longer than a CVS receipt. All eyes on the rich. What about us? They grumble as resources and attention tilt toward the golden elite. The U.S. might start looking less like a talent magnet and more like a playground for the plush, hardly a welcome mat for the world's best and brightest. Then there's the Ebb 5 crew, sweating bullets. These folks have cash tied up in projects, crossing their fingers for green cards, and now they're stuck in a what-if limbo. If the gold card steamrolls EB5, their plans could crash faster than a bad Wi-Fi signal. Keep applying while it's still alive. Experts urge like it's a race against a ticking clock. It's a nail-biter for anyone who bet big on the old system, wondering if they'll be left holding a worthless ticket. Zoom out, and the gold card's got bigger vibes. It's a philosophical plot twist. America's immigration tale has long been about skills, family, and a dash of heart. Think engineers, reunions, and refugees. It's a pivot to show me the money, a shiny new lens that could reshape who gets in and why. Wealth over worth? Critics muse, worried it's a long-term remix of the U.S. playlistless melting pot, more millionaires club. The demographics could shift, the values too, and not everyone's clapping. And globally, the U.S. might take a hit on the talent leaderboard. Why chase skills when you can chase cash? Other countries smirk, rolling out red carpets for the brainiacs America might snub. A genius coder or a top doc could pick Canada or Germany over a system that shrugs at there are some. Unless it's stapled to $5 million. We're losing the edge, the competitiveness crowd frets, picturing the U.S. as a rich kid hangout while rivals scoop up the innovators. Here's the big picture. The gold card could redraw the immigration map: winners, losers, and a whole new vibe. It's not just about who gets in. It's about what America stands for. Who do we want at the table? The deep thinkers ponder as Trump waves his golden wand. Will it boost the elite or bench the rest? The stakes are high, the outcome's hazy, and this golden saga's still got chapters to unfold. Chapter 15. Comparison with other US immigration policy assets. Put the gold card under the microscope and see how it stacks up against the rest of America's immigration lineup. It's like a family reunion where everyone's got their quirks. First up, the EB5 showdown. Picture EB5 as the scrappy cousin who's been around since 1990, asking for $800,000 in job-scarce zones or $1.05 million elsewhere, plus a promise to whip up 10 jobs. The gold card? It's the flashy new sibling strutting in with a $5 million price tag. No job homework required, just pay and play. EB5 is a slow grind, bogged down by paperwork and project proofs, while the gold card promises a zippy shortcut to citizenship. Who's it for? EB5 courts the I can invest crowd. The gold card's all about the I've got millions to burn elite. Oh, and EB5 caps out at under 10,000 visas a year, family included, while Trump's dreaming of an unlimited gold card bonanza. It's thrift shop versus luxury boutique. One's about growing the economy, the other's a straight cash grab. Now, let's pivot to the merit-based crew. Think visas that drool over degrees, skills, and are some representative. Rokanna's waving this flag high. Give me talent over treasure. He cries, dreaming of engineers and doctors over tycoons. The gold card's wealth first vibe rubs him raw. It's less, what can you do? And more, what's your bank balance? But Senator John Cornyn's got a hot take. This is merit-based ultimate merit. He argues, winking at the idea that mega-rich moguls are the cream of the crop. It's a philosophical food fight: skills versus stacks, and the gold card's picking the money side every time. Zoom out globally, and the gold cards get cousins aplenty. Think golden visa programs from the UK to Malta. Spain's old deal started at €500,000 for residency. No citizenship fast track. Canada's defunct investor visa topped out at C2 million, and Malta's citizenship by cash hits around €690,000. New Zealand? Ends $5 million gets you a residency nod. The U.S. is $5 million ask. It's the priciest ticket on the planet, like the penthouse suite of golden visas. Spain shut theirs down, spooked by housing crunches and local grumbles, a cautionary tale of unintended side effects. Too much money, too many problems, they sighed, while Trump's betting America can handle the heat. These global gigs often dangle residency, not citizenship, and come with lighter price tags, making the gold card the heavyweight champ of the bunch. Here's the nugget of wisdom. Peeking at these worldly cousins could school the U.S. on what's coming. Fraud scandals, housing hikes, and grumpy locals have tripped up other programs' lessons the gold card might dodge or stumble into. We're not the first to try this. The wise ones nod, suggesting a cheat sheet from abroad could save some headaches. Will it be a golden win or a gilded mess? The comparison's a crystal ball fuzzy, but packed with hints. Trump's still grinning, ours is the best. But the world's watching, and this golden tale's got global stakes. Chapter 16. Expert analysis and opinion right. Time to call in the brain trust. What do the experts think of Trump's shiny gold card brainstorm? The immigration gurus, legal eagles, and policy wonks have been buzzing like bees around this $5 million honeypot, and their takes are a mixed bag of ooh, uh-oh, and wait, what? Let's dive in. First up, the legal squads. Sounding alarms louder than a foghorn. Rahul Soni from Fragaman, a bigwig in immigration law, isn't sold on Trump's solo act. Congress owns the sandbox, he says, pointing to the Immigration and Nationality Act like it's the rulebook Trump skipped. David Beer from the Cato Institute doubles down. You can't just sap Eb 5 or invent a million-card bonanza without Capitol Hill's say-so. They're picturing a courtroom cage match if Trump tries to bulldoze ahead. Executive orders might tweak the edges, but a whole new visa. That's Congress's turf. Legal limbo, anyone? They smirk, betting on lawsuits faster than you. Can say injunction. The Bush Center crews got worries too, less about the how and more about the what now. They're fretting over the ripple effects. If the gold card hogs the spotlight, what happens to skilled workers or Eb 5 hopefuls stuck in line? It's like giving the rich a speedboat while everyone else paddles, they muse, concerned it. Could clog an already creaky system. Sony's clients, ultra-rich folks who'd usually grill him on tax perks, aren't even biting. Skepticism's thick, he shrugs, noting the hazy details make it a tough sell, but it's not all doom and gloom. Some see a silver or golden lining. Beer nods at the revenue angle. Sure, it could rake in cash, adjust the price, widen the net. Maybe you've got something. The Bush folks admit it might trim Eb 5's bureaucratic fat too. Less red tape. Sign me up, they grin, picturing a sleeker path than Eb 5's job-counting slog. Even Sony concedes a streamlined shot at residency could tempt the mega-wealthy if it actually works. A side hustle for Uncle Sam? Maybe, he chuckles, though he's not betting the farm on it. The million-card dream, though. That's where eyebrows hit the ceiling. $1 million takers at $5 millipop. Beer scoffs, crunching numbers that say the world's billionaire club isn't that big or that eager. Good luck, he quips, while Sony's take is blunter. Demands a giant question mark. The Cato crew's already calling it a stretch. Eb 5 barely lures a fraction of that at a lower price. And Trump's tax-free tease? A unicorn, Sony sighs, echoing tax pros who say Congress and the IRS won't just gift wrap that perk. Legal hurdles galore, they agree, shaking their heads. Economists, if we rope in the broader chatter, might weigh the trade-offs. Rich tycoons versus skilled talent. Millionaires might splash cash, but coders build the future, they'd argue, hinting the gold card's focus could leave the U.S. light on innovation. Politically, it's a circus. Democrats like Roe. Canna blasted as unfair talent over treasure, while some gopers like Cornyn cheer it as merit on steroids. The public split too, half dazzled, half peeved. Classic Washington fireworks. Here's the expert scoop. It's a legal tightrope with a shaky net, a revenue long shot with a fairness asterisk, and an economic wild card that's got folks divided. Big challenges, big doubts, they chorus, though a few spy a glimmer of genius if the stars align. Trump's still waving his golden wand, it's gonna be huge. But the pros? They're betting on a plot twist before this. Tales done. Chapter 17. Concludian. So, here we are at the grand finale of Trump's golden gambit, the gold card immigration policy, a wild, glittery ride that's equal parts bold and bonkers. It's a big swing idea. Ditch the clunky EB-5, rake in billions or trillions if Trump's math holds, and roll out a red carpet for the world's richest. It's gonna be fantastic. He's hollered from day one, picturing a cash tsunami washing away the national debt and a line of tycoons begging for a golden ticket. Less red tape, more greenbacks sounds like a winner, right? Well, not so fast. This golden dream's hit more potholes than a backroad shortcut. Legal eagles are circling, squawking that Trump can't just wave a wand and rewrite immigration rules. Congress holds the keys, and they're not exactly rushing to hand them over. Lawsuits incoming. The experts chime while others clutch their pearls over the ethics of a $5 million citizenship buy-in. Fairness? Equality? Hello? They cry, worried it's less land of opportunity and more land of the loaded. And the economic payoff? It's a coin toss, sure. It might fatten the Treasury, but don't bet on it sparking jobs or growth like EB-5's old school hustle. As of March 27, 2025. The gold card's still a blueprint, not a reality. No launch. Party, no. Sold out. Signs just a lot of chatter and a nudge toward Congress. We're working on it, Lutnick insists, maybe with Senator Cornyn scribbling a bill in the wings. But the clock's ticking, and the vibe's more maybe someday than any day now. Trump's unfazed, they'll love it eventually. But the jury's out, and they're a tough crowd. In the end, this golden saga's a tightrope walk. Big bucks on one side, big battles on the other. Can it dodge the legal grenades, win over the skeptics, and balance the cash with America's immigration soul? That's the million-dollar question, or, well, the $5 million one. For now, it's a cliffhanger. Trump's waving his golden flag, the critics are sharpening their pens, and the rest of us, we're just here, popcorn in hand, waiting to see if this shiny ticket FLIs or flops. One thing's for sure, it's a heck of a story, and the ending's still anyone's guess. And that's the wild tale of Trump's gold card adventure, a shiny dream packed with cash, controversy, and big questions still up in the air. Will it soar or flop like a gold coin down a well? Only time will tell. But what do you think? Is Trump playing a genius hand, or just doodling rainbows with a golden crayon? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button. It's like a virtual high five, and it means the world to me. Share this video with your friends so you can all debate the golden drama together. And if you haven't joined the story-driven English crew yet, hit subscribe to catch more fun tales in English. Ring that bell too, don't miss a thing. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, maybe with an even crazier story, who knows. Catch you later.